Nice, perfect. Ge mig en sekund bara så ska Gisela ta Alex. Så att vi inte har bebisskrik i bakgrunden. Hör du mig inte? Jag sitter och babblar på. Hör du mig nu? Kan du höra mig nu eller funkar det? Vadå Alex och stänger båda dörrarna? Ja. Så då, kan du stänga dörrarna så att jag kan köra? Stänger du till dörren ordentligt? Så jag har så lite ljud som jag... Söta, hallå? Jag pratar med dig.
Ja, men jag stängde precis den där.
Ja, fast du stängde den inte ordentligt. Vad det jag bad om. Tack. Hi, and welcome to the Swedish Wealth Institute and the 7-step success system that we want to share with you. We're very pleased that you're taking part of this, and we hope that this will bring a whole lot of value to you. If you implement this system, it will catapult your success, give you the necessary framework to work after and reach your goals. So this will be valuable, so stick with us. We will be ending off with some tips that have proven to increase the efficiency of our students by, in some cases, up to 35%, which is incredible. That's about 2 hours extra work time per day if you implement it. So stick with it, and I'm sure this will make a huge difference for you going forward. Thank you for taking part of it. The 7 steps. I'm going to start with working on your why, your engine, so to speak. Why are you fighting through all the tough times that any investor and entrepreneur or driven business person faces? You're going to go through your values. What is your core? What do you stand for? What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be known for? And then we'll go through your goals, how to set goals to reach them, set a plan, choosing your vehicle to reach your goals, how to actually implement what you've done, and then we'll end up with time management and help you become even more efficient than you are today. So your why. Why do you want to go through this? It is such an important exercise. We learned this, me and my wife, probably only 3 years ago, where we learned that to make a change, you have to want to change. To change where you are now, it's not enough to just wish it. You have to have a burning desire to make a difference and change your life. That is why starting, you want to look at where are you now and why aren't you happy with where you are now? What is your burning why? Why do you want a difference? Why do you want change? Why is it so important to you that you're spending this time, this money on a course like this to improve and get to another place? Why? So I want you to bring out a pen and paper. This is the first exercise we're going to do. And I want you to write right on top, my why. And then I want you to list or write it as a text. It's up to you, whatever works best for you, however you learn best. But I want you to write this down with a pen and paper. So you feel the pen crossing the paper. That is important. and write down every single reason you want to change. It could be your family, it could be your home, it could be your work situation, it could be that you want to make a difference for other people, that you want to work with charities, it could be financial, that you want to be able to buy, do what you want. It could be a health issue that requires you to change. It could be your legacy, worried about what you're going to leave behind. But write down every single reason for you wanting to change. So start with that. And if you need to, pause the video. Spend at least 20 minutes on this. If you can, when this becomes at its most powerful, if you write down 50 reasons, it'll probably be easy to list 10, maybe even 20, maybe even 30. But those last 10, 20, that's when it gets tough. That's when you start having to dig deep and truly finding what is my why. Once you've found that, you'll have the power to go through anything. But once you're done, I want you to look at this list or this long text they have and circle the 5 most powerful reasons to you. Circle them around, then take a separate sheet of paper, write them all across the top. So you have like 5 different columns of the biggest reasons why. And then under them, I want you to write a short little text about each. It can be, 10, 20, 30 words, just stating what would it mean to you to accomplish this why? What difference would this make for your life? Once you've written down these 5 reasons, these 5 results that would come if you could complete these whys, I want you to combine them into one, so to speak, master text. So you write down exactly how and why would this change your life? How would your life be if you could change these 5 whys? Now that you've done this, take this why, take this list, put it on your mirror every morning, have it beside your bed, read it while you're eating breakfast. This is your driving force. Whenever the going gets tough, this is why you're forcing yourself through this. So take your time, do this exercise seriously, because this is key to your future success. Next, we'll move on to your values. Now that you know why you're doing what you're doing, now you know what is your burning force, we also want to identify who do you want to be? When do you think it's important? When other people are talking about you, what do you want them to say? The reason this is so important is it doesn't matter how good a salesperson you are, how good a talker you are, how good a communicator you are, or a visionary, your values will always shine through. They'll always shine through, and people will always see who is the real you. What do you really stand for? Do you stand for family? Do you stand for success? Do you stand for money? Do you stand for caring? Do you stand for empathy? Do you stand for integrity, to honesty? Do you stand for unethical behavior? Do you stand for illegal means, success at all costs? What do you stand for? And once you identify this and you identify your true values, then you'll see, okay, this is how I should act. So first, I want you to make a list of 5 values that you aspire to. All right. Now take that list and put it off to one side. Now make a list and say, and think, if the 5 people you spend most time with, it could be your family, friends, coworkers, if they were to do this exercise and say, what are the 5 values that you stand for? What 5 would they write? That's tough. And you might actually even have to call or go and get one of them and ask them, all right, what values do I stand for? What is me? Be honest. What is me? And it might not be at all what you want to hear. They might say, well, you stand for success, but success at all costs. You are selfish, or you are a hoarder, or you want money at all costs. Uh, they might say, though, since they are your friends, they might also say you're very caring, or you are loyal, or you are trustworthy. But whatever they take, the five top, you take that list. Don't get angry if they're telling you bad things. They are your best friends because they are telling you their honest view and the view the world has of you, so that you can change. So be tough on them and tell them, look, you tell me what I need to hear, and I'll appreciate it. I might not like it when you say it, but I'll know you're saying it out of a place of love and you're doing it for my good. So please tell me honestly, what do you think? And I won't be mad. And then you take both these lists. So you have the five that you aspire to, the five values that are most important to you that you wish you could live up to, and then the five that your friends have told you this is who you are today. And look at it and look at the list of how you are today. This, if you were to pass away tonight, would you want to be remembered as the person that your friends and coworkers have described? Or would you want to be the person that you aspire to be? And then start asking yourself every time you're making a decision, are these in accordance to my values? And remember, being in accordance to your values does not mean I'm giving everything away, I'm not doing anything, because you understand that to be able to help as many people as possible, you need to succeed first. If you give away everything you have, you can help one person. But as Tony Robbins says, you cannot you cannot feed the poor by becoming one of them. But if you do, now I'm going off Tony, but if you do become rich or wealthy, you can feed the millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And that's when you can make true difference. So being in accordance to your values does not mean, if you have very selfless values, does not mean putting yourself in the passenger seat and giving away everything you have. You need to succeed yourself, and then you can help others succeed as well. That's important, and I'm sure you understand that, and it's something you want to implement. So once you've identified who you want to be, start acting in accordance to those values. And remember how you are seen as today so that you can start making changes. Now, goals. This is fun. This is very, very fun. This is something I spent years on. And what's incredible is that pretty much every single goal I've set has come true. Not maybe in the way I believe, not in the time frame I believe, but one way or another it's come through. I actually met my wife. That was a goal. I set a goal that I wanted to meet a wonderful woman, and actually by the deadline I did. She later became my wife. I realized that probably 6 months after I met her that I'd actually set that as a goal and put that deadline, and that's when we had our first date. And same thing for business goals. The one goal I haven't set is I dreamt of being a Major League Baseball player. The sun hasn't set on that goal though. It might happen still. So you're never going to be 100%, but the fact setting a goal makes you so much, increases your odds of accomplishing your goals by so much. It's incredible. There are many different theories on setting goals. A simple and very effective system is called the SMART goals. All right, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, timely. Oh, sorry, I missed the R. Uh, re, reachable, or reasonable and timely. So first we're going to look at what do you want? So you know your why, you know where you're going, you know your big goal. Now I want you to put it in specific trackable numbers. But what is your goal? Is it to be financially independent in 5 years? Is it to have spoken on stages and presented in front of 2,000 people by the 31st of December 2000 and whatever? What is your goal? What's your driving force? What do you want to do? And it's important to write it in the present tense. So you set your goal and you write, I am a financially independent, making 100,000 krona a month passively from this company and these investments by the, and then the date. This whole way of doing it, you're very specific. You're very specific in that this is what I want to accomplish. I am financially independent, making 100,000 krona a month from X company and Y investment by the date. This way you can easily see, well, okay, I'm making 80,000 krona a month. Well, it's good, but it's not my goal. Or I'm making 120. Hey, I've crushed my goal. You also know where the money's going to come from, how you're going to do it. Create very simple roadmap. This does not mean you cannot update your goal, but it makes it very clear. Now, there are 5 different areas of your life that you need goals for. This is important. You don't want to only go after finances. It's easy to go and set financial goals. You also want career goals. And that can be if you're a business owner, where do you want the business to be? What do you want it to have accomplished? If you're in a company, well, it could be a career goal. What kind of a job do you want? If you're investing, it could be your credibility as an investor. You could be that you want to be a certain size of investor. Uh, and then you also need a health goal. So you know you have to focus on your health, your training, your nutrition. You need relationship goals. If you are nothing without your relationships, whoever you spend the most time around, that is who you become. So that's very, very important. And also your spiritual goal. And spiritual, I'm not going to tell you what to believe. And you might, as your spiritual goal, it might be a godly goal, it might be a religious goal, it might be more law of attraction or scientific belief. It could also be that you don't know, you believe in the universe or things happen for a reason, or it can be a personal development goal. Any of these is improving your spirit, and that's what's important. Not what you believe, but how you strengthen your belief and improve yourself within. So set goals, set smart goals for all 5. Once done with that, you can move on to making a plan. And this is where we're going to create this roadmap for how are we going to get there. Well, if you set a goal that, oh, I want to lose 10 kilos in the next 12 months. Okay, then we know how do we get there. Well, we need to train, we need to fix our nutrition, we need to start thinking of what we eat, how we eat. In the Wealth Academy, of course, we have from one of the top personal trainers in fitness who's created both a nutritional program and a training program that will help with these questions. And there you want to work on each step. Okay, so I'm going to work out 3 times a week. There'll be a lot of cardio, so I lose weight quickly. It'll also be intensive weight training to build muscle, which will increase my metabolism and my burning rate. I'll change to eating 5 meals a day. They'll be very, very healthy, very little fat or very little carbs or whatever you believe in, or just less than I'm eating today. And you just create this plan for how am I going to get there. And you do that in all 5 areas. So you might have a goal in relationships to contact. You want to have 100 friends, which is pretty cool to have 100 friends. Then you set a plan where you say, I'll contact 4 people a day and have a conversation, 4 different people every day which means I'll be able to keep in touch with all my friends at least once a month. And I'll have 12 conversations with them per year, and they'll all be my friends. Great. And in your career, you might say, well, I want to be a CEO in the next 5 years. All right, by this date in 5 years. Okay, what do I need to become the CEO? Well, this is the career path. First, I have to take the position I'm in now, and I need to get promoted into this position. Then I need to get promoted into that position. And then I might have to take a step sideways into this position before getting promoted up to the CEO position. Okay, so what skills do I need on the way to get promoted? What would I need to do to get promoted? And that's not only about mastering your position now or your position then, it's about mastering both. So first, you have to look at, okay, so how can I be the best person in the company at the position I am in? How do I become the best? Because that will open the door for them to look at you for that promotion. So you look at that and you say, okay, but what skills do I need in this new position to be promoted, in the position I'm going to be promoted into? What do I need to know? You make a list of all those skills, and then you go around and you start mastering them. That way, you can start mastering your position and showing that, wow, this is the best person in the company. And then you master all the skills you'll need in the next step, in your next position. And you just get to work, and then doors will start opening. It might not go straight according to plan. You might get promoted into a completely different position. You're working your way up. It might take time to get promoted, and then all of a sudden you'll skip 2-3 steps on the ladder just because someone spotted you. You just keep improving, adding these skills, improving these skills, getting better, all the way up to your goal. You start identifying these skills, and you practice them, and you hone them. And a great tip also is to say, okay, so what would make me stand out? What type of projects could I lead? Well, the obvious one is the one no one else wants to touch because it's too difficult. How do I get those projects? How do I get to lead them? How can I take them? How can I tell the company owner or my manager or my manager's manager, if there's a task that no one else wants to do, but that you feel is important, give it to me and I'll make sure it gets done. That is a way to get promoted. Financially, it might be, okay, how much, if I want to have 1,000,000 krona and I want to be making 100,000 krona per year, well, how do I get to that million or 10 or 20 million krona in the account? Well, first of all, how much am I making today and how much are my expenses? Okay, how much could I then possibly save every month? Well, I could save 50,000. I could save 5,000 krona a month. That would be 60,000 krona a year. And then, okay, so what would I do with this money? How do I invest this money? And now you have 3 things to look at. How do I increase my income? How do I decrease my expenses? And how do I invest my money? And that could be in stocks. You could work with us in PICN. You could do it you can invest in cryptocurrencies, in property, just like we do. You could start a business with the money. All these opportunities are there. You just have to identify which is right for you. And that leads us in to the vehicle. What path are you going to choose? You can't follow all of them. If you follow all of them, if you become a jack of all trades, you become the master at none. You want to master your trade. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we choose which one do we want to master. And there are many different alternatives. One is, again, it's stocks and trading. It's long-term value investing. And you can invest in commodities like gold. You can invest in bonds and mutual funds. You could also use index funds. There's also starting a company. So if you kind of think, if you've read Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, you'll know his picture of the cash flow quadrant. Otherwise, Google it. Just Google cash flow quadrant, and you'll see there are 4 different squares. There is in the upper left-hand corner, you have the E quadrant, which stands for employee. In the lower left-hand, you have S, which is self-employed. And in the upper right-hand corner, you have the B quadrant, which is for a business owner. And in the lower right-hand corner, you have the I quadrant, which stands for investor. What Robert says is, on the left-hand side, you do most of the work and make the least money. On the right-hand side, being a business owner investor, you make most of the money, you pay the least amount of taxes, and once you've gotten far enough, you're probably doing the least amount of work because you own, as a business owner, in a self-employed, you might have one or two or three employees even, but you're working in the business, you're doing it without you, the business goes under. A business owner owns a business system, meaning if you left for 6 months, the business would still keep growing. That is when you have freedom and you're making a lot of money. As an investor, you're investing in companies and stocks and bonds, and that money is making money whether you work or not. Which both of those, that's where you want to be going. You want to find a way, how do I become a B or an I? So we covered some I different quadrant, I investments. In addition, you could do property investing. There are property investing opportunities all over the world. Or you could start a business and join the B quadrant and own a business system. And in either case, once you know this feels right for me, I like the idea of investing in companies just like Warren Buffett, who's one of the richest men in the world. Or I like the idea of investing in property, which is the most common investment of all wealthy people in the world. Or I want to create a business. I want to become the next Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. And that's my way. That's my path. Any which way you choose, it's fine. As long as you feel passion, it will be right. The question is, how do you do it? And just like in this beautiful little picture here, what really helps is to have a coach, someone who can show you the way, someone who can tell you, well, okay, if you're going to invest in stocks, here's what to look out for, here's what to use, here are metrics to look at, here's how I have made my success, this is how I invest. And that way you can just follow someone that has already succeeded in it. You can stand on the shoulders of giants and then take the next step. Same if you're in business, you want a business coach. Property, you want a property coach. You want a specialist, a coach, a person who has done what you want to do and succeeded in it, and who's willing to show you how to do it. So there are lots of different opportunities out there. If you want to get into investing in stocks, there are hundreds of books on the subject, and it's easy to find, and that will give you the basis. And then you find a course or a coach who can show you the details and getting into it. The same is true for property and especially for business. There are millions of business books out there. I could recommend some in each, where in stocks, if you want to trade, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator is a classic. It's very, very good. And also, Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins is also a very good book that really covers a lot of the different ways to invest your money in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and everything. So that gives a very good basis. In property, you have the ABCs of real estate. You have the Midas Touch by Robert Kiyosaki. And I would really go and read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is Robert Kiyosaki's first book that gives you an understanding of how it works. And then if you want to get into business, personally, I love the books Good to Great. I also really like Real Life MBA by Jack Welch. Both of those books are fantastic. You learn so much. Overall, I could also recommend 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a wonderful book that really gives a basis for how to think and be successful in business. And The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a wonderful book on investing and how to handle your finances. So any of those books will help you take that step. And then working together, you can work with us, ask us if you want help in identifying the right coach for you. We have a lot of coaches we cooperate with and work with. We actually have 5 coaches of our own that coach different parts of our business. So we can gladly help out there if you need advice on what coach would fit for you. And now, time management, something I am very passionate about myself. And I'm going to quickly describe a system that you can implement today. So what is the goal of time management? Well, first off, it is to be more efficient, reduce stress, become more creative, and produce more. Right? That is basically what we're trying to do. By reducing stress and getting that out of your head, that will allow you to be more creative. So it is creating a system, a path, and that means you have templates, you have ways to work, and it will anyway make you much more creative. So stick with it, because it really, really will. I know a lot of creative people don't like to be kind of boxed in, but you're creating your own box, and that box will set you free from a lot of things you're keeping in mind, which will make you a lot more creative, or at least help you be more creative. You want to reduce stress also for health reasons, of course, and your happiness and your relationships. In addition, you want to be able to produce more, which is very, very important, of course. So the goal of a time management system is to get you a daily to-do list that tells you what you're going to do in what order, so you know what to focus on first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and 10th. Once you created the system, that is what will be delivered. So your first exercise here, you'll need that pen and paper again, because we've got a few exercises to go through. First, I want you to write down daily tasks. Spare a little bit down, weekly tasks, monthly tasks, and annual tasks. Then each, you fill out, what do I need to do every single day? So if you're in marketing, it might be updating social media, writing articles. If you're in sales, making calls and prospecting. If you're in HR, it can be performance reviews or meetings or whatever you have every single day. Weekly tasks could be your weekly meetings, your weekly reporting. Monthly tasks should be end of the month reports and different types of gatherings for the end of the month. And annually, you might every quarter have quarterly meetings and so on. So I want you to fill out every single task that does happen routinely over and over again, that keeps on coming back. Just fill that out. Let's pause the video and do that. Just get everything down. Next, you'll see that a lot of things didn't fit into your recurring tasks, things that you know happen every day or every week or every month. These are your more sporadic tasks. And just like a lot of people, I'm sure, keep a lot of it in your head. What I want you to do now is get a piece of paper, write down everything, single thing you have to do. It can be minor, moving these chairs in from the balcony or doing the dishes, everything that you have in your mind. Write it down, create a list. And if you can get 100 things on there, well, I'm sure you still have things left to do. So get everything onto that list. Do a true mind dump, as we call it. So all these things you're keeping in your mind, you're having to remember them. And that's creating stress and pain and blocking your creativity. So get it all down on paper now. Good. Once you're done, get your calendar out and add your meetings that you already know you have. Not the recurring meetings, we already have that on the list, but your sporadic meetings, the ones you have. Okay. Now look at what you've done. These three parts is everything you need to do. Now look at your goals. So if we take your goals back and we look at what is it you wanted to accomplish, what is your why, what are your measurable goals, your SMART goals, the things you are doing, your recurring tasks, your to-do list, your meetings, are they in accordance to your goals? Yes, maybe, no. Once you've looked at that and take a good hard look at it, you might want to make some changes. One exercise you could do is, it's called A to E. So you go through each task you have on all these lists and you rate them on importance. So an A task is really important. This is something that if it doesn't get done, it has dire consequences. Your life could be over. Okay, so this is really important. Things that aren't that important, but still important. You want to do them, otherwise, well, you would have consequences. They just wouldn't be life or death. You assign them a B. And then you look at everything else that doesn't have dire consequences that needs to be done. We give it a C. So you'll see you probably have a lot of C's on this list. And so if you put everything that doesn't have an A or B, you give that a C. Okay? Now remember, I said A to E. So you have C, D, E. All right, so if you give everything a C. All right, so now I want you to go through every single C task. And you ask yourself, okay, does it need to be done? If it doesn't actually have to be done, give it an E, which means eliminate. So you take it away. You just don't do that type of tasks again. Or you might say, you know what? It's actually, I don't need to do this. It's under my pay grade. It's under my skill level. I don't really need to do it. In that case, you give it a D, which means delegate. You delegate it to someone else. If you see that, well, it has to be done, I can't or shouldn't delegate it, then you leave it as a C. It has small consequences. It needs to be done sooner or later. Give it a C. It's the lowest priority. All right, so now you've split them in. So all the E tasks, just take them out. The D tasks, for each D task, make a plan on how to delegate it, who to delegate it to, how, when, and how you're going to follow up on it. Once you're done with that, you now have your A to C, A, B, and C tasks. This is what you should be focusing on. And the question is, are enough of these tasks focused on your goals? Otherwise, you might want to add something in there. How do you do more tasks that fit your goals? So now I want you to combine these in a way where you, every single day, you take out all three lists and you say, so every morning you begin, or the evening before, that's completely up to you. You say, all right, what's on my recurring list today? It's Monday. So my daily tasks are these three. On my weekly schedule, the Monday is, well, it's these three things I need to do. It's the first of the month. Okay, so out of my monthly task, well, I have to do this one thing. That is a monthly task. It's the 1st of January. So if I look at my annual list, I have to do this. All right, good. So we've got our recurring. Now you look at our your calendar. Do you have anything planned? Do you have any meetings? Anything that needs to be done today? Okay, good. Have a meeting there, a meeting there. Put that on the list. All right, so now you have, these are things that need to be done. Now you look at your to-do list, your master to-do list. And a master to-do list, that isn't a one-time thing. As soon as something comes up, you add it to the list, add it to the list, add it to the list. Every single time. Do not try to remember anything. Add it to the list. So you look at it and you see, all right, what are my A tasks? Can I take one? What do I have time for today? Considering all the other things I'm going to do today, what can I take? And now, once you have this list of things that you're going to do today, you sort them. What am I going to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth? And once you have them, feel the calm. Wow, this is all you're going to do today. And first of all, you're going to focus 100% on this first task. Now on the second task, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 10th. So now you put everything away, turn off the sound on your phone, and focus 100% on your first task until it's done. Once it's done, you move on to the second. That is true time management, and it makes a huge difference for you. So thank you very much for joining us here on the 7 Steps Success System. You can now, with peace and calm, go out in the world knowing you know your why, you know your values, you have clear-cut goals, you have a plan on how to get there, you know what vehicle you're gonna use to get there, you know how to do it, or at least what coach and advice you can get to complete it. And you have the time management system to be more efficient than anyone else, so you can get the job done and get the results. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a fantastic day, week, month, year, decade. Thank you. All right, we're done.